Afternoon, folks. We are once again live. Let me get everything switched over and we will proceed with more Monster Hunter. Alright, should have game audio, game video. Hey, Red Dragon's here. What's up, Red Dragon? Welcome to the stream. How goes it? I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to the weekend. It's been a busy week. Your train says it's going. I hear you, man. All right. So it's been some time since I last streamed Monster Hunter. I've been playing it off and on and slowly grinding away in the background, but I want to say I might have not streamed this at all in March just because I was gone for part of the month. So what are we doing? We're continuing the grind, but before we start a warm-up quest here with the endgame stuff, I'd like to point your attention to the summary stats here. And again, I don't remember exactly what my anomaly research rank was last time I streamed, but I'm currently at anomaly research rank 223. I know that's considerably higher than what it was before. And so the overall difficulty scaling of the anomaly investigations is continuing to go up. And the 200 plus stuff is decently difficult. Things hit very hard. And overall it's more dangerous. But you get better rewards and the more advanced crafting materials you need for augments are found at upper level for certain targets. So what I figured I'd do is we're going to start with a warm-up quest. And then when we get back, I'm going to show off a set that I built for something that we haven't seen in the playthrough yet. A new weapon. I can't take it out on these higher level quests yet because I'll get shredded due to its not being upgraded on its defense. But let's work on Narga for warm-up. Give you an idea of how the scaling at the end game goes. For Bahari's research bonuses, which you get little stamps in the lower right every time you complete an investigation. The minimum level in order for it to even stamp now is 181, which is pretty decently high. So I have a bunch of quests that I've been slowly leveling as we've been grinding in the end game that are not that high. And right now the target is Afflicted Puke Puke, which I don't even have. So in order to cycle the quest, that's why I'm doing this Narga one, to level it up and to see what it switches to next. Hey, Capri Sun's here. What's up, Capri Sun? Welcome to the Monster Hunter stream. And I see we are starting, as tradition dictates, with a drop a beat, which is good because we're just about to get started. So let me do this. We will take care of that right now. Let me mute the game audio. And put my headphones on. Seems like it's been a while since I've had to do one of these. So, let's give it a try. Everybody jump. And I lost my controller while I was doing that. Alright, let us remove headphones and turn the game audio back on. I'm thinking, since it reminded me of something I was going to mention, since we have the first jam stream in a while, just due to me being out last week, on Sunday of this weekend, I'm thinking about talking about bass again. It's been a little bit. Been working on refining some things with the basses that I use, and just doing the real quick improv beat for Capri Sun made me realize it is significantly more difficult to do my lower basses when I'm not warmed up at all. Because I was working on some training last night, tinkering around with things that I wanted to talk about, and I couldn't get those sounds to come out as low and as strong as they normally would, just cold. Because I did something similar to the routine that I just did when I was practicing yesterday, and it sounded a lot more like heavy with the bass. So maybe we'll discuss some bass stuff in the next jam stream. We'll go over some of the things we've talked about so far, and maybe we'll talk about some training and drilling techniques like we've done for other different parts of beatbox technique. But in the meantime, let's go poke some monsters with a giant stick. Oh, there's a mudfish on the map. Where are you at? There you are. I like the fights against Narga, especially with Lance, because since it's very kind of precise for learning monster patterns, and once you get into a good flow, the weapon feels pretty good. If you're not careful, though, you'll get walloped. Angry. Ooh, that was almost way too early. I got lucky there. When Master Rank Narga gets mad, it can do the big tail slam followed by a leaping second tail slam. Like the one, then the two. That does a lot of damage. We don't get hit by that. I'm throwing on my parries early. Just like before, we want to target the glowing affliction cores. There we go. I'm going to use my counter on the second hit, since Anchor Rage only absorbs one hit, and if I use it on the first, I'll eat the second for a lot of damage. Oh, I did see in the chat, Preson's talking about going back to Cyberpunk. Never did play Cyberpunk after the spectacle that was its launch. Would you say the product is worth playing now? It does have Keanu Reeves in it. Ah, okay, so it did go through an improvement arc, as it were. Alright, targeting someone else, that's fine. I see. Red Dragon, not a fan of Cyberpunk or Fallout. Yeah, I know the story-driven games aren't for everybody. There's a double. Those games aren't really normally my wheelhouse. I'm not really that big a fan of Fallout. I tried to get into it, and we talked about that before. It's not really my cup of tea, but I have a lot of friends that really like the various installments of Fallout. Sound. Oh man, I'm slightly out of range. I need to be careful. Ah, I see. That's the good parallel I was thinking, Capri Sun. I'm trying to watch the chat out of the corner of my eye and not get murdered by monsters. But the arc for Cyberpunk, I would have said, was it like how No Man's Sky ultimately got redeemed and improved? And it sounds like that's the case, which is cool. I thought about streaming No Man's Sky. I have not played that game in several iterations, and I really liked the amount of time I spent with it. There's so much new content and things in the game since when I first started. It'd be kind of a long playthrough, but I haven't ruled it out. Alright. Crap assist. Okay, we got one wing broken. The face is broken. I think the right arm is not broken yet. And I've been trying to sever the tail. I've been grinding this particular hunt. And it takes quite a bit to sever Narga's tail. Okay, couldn't figure out where exactly it was targeting. Let's try and get a KO. There it is. Ah, I see Red Dragon's talking about the kind of mission structure of the game. That's fair. Oof. Where are you going? I thought you were leaving. Thinking back to Fallout, since whenever we talk about it, people usually ask me why I couldn't get into it. I think it was the combat that didn't really gel with me too much. I think it's a cool concept. I just didn't find it that interesting. The environment setting was all right. The kind of survival crafting aspects I thought were fine too, but I wasn't a big fan of the combat. Oh wow! I got the offensive guard. That works. We are kind of running all over Narga this time. Let's see if we can get sub 15. This is 160 something, I think, anomaly level. Oh, okay. Not even rezoning, just going there. It's fine. All right. Nice try. Oh, come on. Well, Roggy? Dare you interfere and knock me over. Ah. There's the double. Kind of hard to see in the bushes here. Let's stagger whoever did that. Okay, timer's getting low. Let's see if we can get a couple more of these cores detonated before it goes Nova mode. Almost dead though. Nope. I think we were close. Oh, nice. I think we could do sub 15. If it rezones and have to chase it down, that's going to be another minute though. Aw. It really hard to see over here. Wow. Let's get out of the bushes. Nice. Wow, 433 on the charge hit. No, no, no. Ah, all right. Okay, not too far away. Gotcha. All right, just shy of 15. That's good.
Didn't even break a sweat. Knights must not falter. Today was a big step forward. Carve, carve,
I
carve.
did want to talk a little bit, if I had a chance, about a game that I've been playing off stream, not for content, that I didn't know too much about, but a couple people mentioned it to me, so I picked it up on Switch, that I've really been enjoying. And that's Unicorn Overlord. Apparently there'd been some buzz about the game. I just didn't pay attention to the directs. I really like that game. It's by Vanillaware, Dragon's Crown, Odin Sphere, 13 Sentinels, that group. And it's like a turn-based strategy game, RPG. Yeah, Unicorn Overlord. It's really cool. The art is insanely good. The story is, I wouldn't say it's the most groundbreaking thing ever, but the gameplay and the actual combat and turn-based stuff is a lot of fun. A lot of customization with units. I think it's only on Steam, or not Steam, rather Switch, Red Dragon. I haven't checked. But I know it's getting a lot of promotion in the directs for Switch specifically. I don't know if they released it on Steam as well. It's published by Atlas. We all know Atlas. But if you like kind of the turn-based strategy type games, RPG stuff, I recommend checking it out. All right. We're going to take a quick sidebar to talk about new weapon. Okay, just for Switch. I don't know if they're going to port the game to something else. I know apparently there have been some talks of a potential like PC port, and the devs for Unicorn Overlord were just confused. Vanillaware's not the greatest when it comes to putting things on other systems. It took forever for Dragon's Crown to not be on, was it PS3 first? I played it on Vita. But there's a demo for Unicorn Overlord as well, so I recommend checking it out. Alright, we're going to go switch maps. Over to ye old training area. Let's talk about the Greatsword, the probably most iconic weapon of Monster Hunter. Usually when people think of the series, they think of the hunter walking around carrying a massive sword, a la Guts or Cloud. And this is a weapon I have not played in the playthroughs so far, since we've been streaming it. I mained Greatsword in Monster Hunter World and Iceborne on PC. When I played World and Iceborne, or just World, base World on PS4, I mained Gunlance. And then when it came out on PC, I bought it again and started over from the beginning. And took Greatsword all the way through Iceborne. And so I have played the weapon a moderate amount, but I wouldn't consider myself an expert. One of my old hunting buddies is a dedicated diehard Greatsword main. And so I figured I'd talk a little bit about this weapon, since, again, we haven't touched it at all in this playthrough. And I just built the set that I'm wearing now for it. But like I mentioned, the reason why I didn't take it out on that hunt is because it's not upgraded defense-wise. This thing has 650 defense, which is too low. That's one-shot territory at anomaly rank 200 and above for sure. Resistances are a bit spread. Not the most safe resistances, but we can work around that. So how does Greatsword work? As the name would suggest, it is a big, heavy weapon, and it is decently slow. Our walk speed with the weapon out is this really slow plodding pace. Still have our ability to roll, and with the Evade Extender we get quite a bit of distance, which is good. This set doesn't have Evade window, just Evade distance. So the name of the game for evasion with Greatsword, at least the way I've geared this set, is not going to be evading through things so much as getting out of the way completely. If I had more confidence in my iframe timing, then I'd be able to roll through just as much. But instead of worrying about that for now, we'll just try and completely get out of the way and not get hit. We're rocking level 5 attack boost, level 5 defiance, level 3 focus, which is faster charging uncharged attacks, crit draw, which is increased affinity on draw attacks, which we'll be doing quite a bit with Greatsword. Quick sheath, which lets us put our weapon away faster, also pretty important for Greatsword. Fade extender, speed sharpening, flinch free, prevents knockbacks, it's a utility skill. Frostcraft, which comes from Velkhana's armor set, which creates the gauge right to the right of my sharpness bar. As long as my weapon is sheathed, it charges up, and it gives a bonus whenever I unsheath my weapon and attack after that bar has been filled. Really good synergy with Greatsword, as we'll see. Weakness exploit, handicraft, everything else is sort of slotted in as utility skills. Would like to get level 3 Wirebug Whisper at some point if I get better slots. And the rest is kind of a bunch of level 1s. And our weapon here is Scorn Magnamalo's Greatsword. This is a blast element, similar to the Lance, same weapon tree. And so if we take a look at the moves for Greatsword on triangle, PlayStation controls, we've got the overhead chop. If we try and combo into another follow-up, we get the side blow, the slap. And I think if we just spam, what does it do? It goes 1, 2. It goes into strong charge. Okay, we can't spam 3 attacks on triangle. On circle, we've got the wide slash. This one sweeps around, will hit things kind of all around us, but doesn't have much vertical. If we want to hit things vertically, we've got to go overhead, or we go triangle circle for rising, which is like a reverse uppercut. This will hit high. Good for hitting tails that are a little bit further off the ground than most things. We can hit circle again after the wide slash, which goes into tackle. This move was added in World and Iceborne. Probably one of the biggest game changers the weapon saw in the entirety of 5th generation, I think. When you do the tackle, you have armor. So you can shoulder tackle through attacks, and you'll take some chip damage. You can do it through roars. It is incredibly powerful and relatively quick, too. Additionally, we've got R2. We can block. The Greatsword can block. Its block is not particularly strong. I think it's stronger than Sword and Shield and weaker by a considerable amount compared to the lances. But in an emergency, we can block with our sword and we'll get pushed back and take chip. But it is a good sort of emergency. Now, with the switch skills in Sunbreak and Base Rise 2, there's a couple different ways to play Greatsword now. I'm going to be primarily doing what's probably the more old school version of the weapon that I know since I've been playing it. But there's a lot of flexibility in how you can play this weapon now, which is really neat. I like that. I can do this. I'll switch to the other skill set and try and explain the difference. But I'm not super adept at it since I'm new to the newer stuff with Greatsword. So we know the name of the game is heavy strikes, do a lot of damage. Not a lot of mobility, so positioning is key. You can dodge cancel out of pretty much everything the Greatsword does, which eliminates some of the recovery time on the windows. Things like the attacks. Anything where the character has that brief recovery. For example, if we just do the overhead chop, you can see our hunter buries the sword and then takes a couple seconds to pull it back up into the ready position. This is kind of something we've talked about on the other weapons. But if we use evade to cancel once the strike comes out, we don't have to wait that additional second or so for recovery. And so it's a really good habit to get into. One, to put your weapon away when you want to move around quickly. And two, get in the habit of dodge canceling things. Because if you got to get out of the way, that's going to be your best bet whenever you're attack committed. Now, the bread and butter, at least for this play style of greatsword, and what I'm going to be trying to do effectively when I take this weapon out, is using its charges. If we have our weapon in the ready state, we hold triangle, we have 3 levels of charge, as shown by our hunter starting to glow. We have level 1, 2, 3, and 4 for the charge. One thing, I can't remember if the tutorials explain this. They have in other games before, but there is a specific ideal time to let the charge go. If you go for the charge and you just charge up to max, you do a set amount of damage and the level I think people kind of call level 4, but it's essentially an overcharge. So if we strike the same spot, charging up to the max does 503. If we do the same thing, but we let it go right at level 3, which is when the hunter kind of drops down a little bit. There's an animation. We go 1, 2, 3. That's the ideal point to let the charge go. And so let's get a better angle. 1, 2, 3. 744 instead of the overcharge. 372. It depends where I'm hitting. But the point is, the damage is greatly decreased if you overcharge your strike. Hey, we got a raid. The crew, Toxicure. Hey, Wazzy. Thank you for the raid. Welcome in, folks. We are hunting some monsters. Let me give you a shout out. Just chatting, huh? Ooh, thanks for the follow, Old Prince Leviathan. Welcome to the Space Bees. What were we chatting about today? Was it another floor yelling stream? I'm sure there were nothing but good opinions to be had. I was explaining to chat mechanics for the Greatsword, one of the most iconic weapons in Monster Hunter that we are tinkering around with for the first time here on stream. So feel free to hang out. We'll be talking through some technical stuff and then we'll be going back on hunts where I will proceed to get demolished by angry monsters yet again. So for this whole charge mechanic, also worth mentioning, you can draw into charge as well by holding down triangle instead of hitting just triangle from neutral stance. If you hold it down, you'll draw into the charge, which is also pretty handy. We talked about how you optimize your charge levels in order to get the most damage. Sometimes you're going to have to bail on your charge level to get out of the way of something. But you ideally want to maximize the level 3 and do the most damage. 744 is a big damage number. In addition to the standard charge, which is, what's it called? Charge slash. If we pull back on the L stick and hit triangle again, once the charge hits, we get this. 1 hit. Now we get strong charge. Has its own levels. And just like before, it can go up to technically 4 overcharge levels, and we want to let this one go at 3. 1, 2, 3. Once the hunter kind of hunkers down, that's the window. And I think you get a white glow, right? 1, 2, yeah. 3. 1, 2, 3. And just like that, you have a second, stronger charge slash that does a butt ton of damage. As if that wasn't excessive enough, and this is a change they added in 5th generation in World and Iceborne. If we go first charge, big hit. Second charge, big hit. And pull back again. True charge. Even bigger hit. That's 3. Count them, 3 massive hits. Big commitment window for the animation and whatnot. But the true charge slash hits like a truck. It is very strong. And this one charges a little bit faster. I think it's technically 2 levels. Just looking at it. It's the same rhythm, though. We wait till you get that pop animation, and then that's when you know to let the attack go. 1, 2. Yeah, it's still 3, but it's a little bit faster, I think. And then kaboom. Now, one thing that the 5th generation added, because you can go 1 charge, 2, you can even go faster to get to the big one. Or you can use the tackle to level up the charge, which is something very handy and very fast that is a bit more advanced for Greatsword. So let's say we're going around a fight, we're hitting stuff, and we go into the charge and hit circle. We will cancel our animation to do that shoulder charge that has armor. Old Prince Leviathan says, Wazzy has traumatized me with Fat Finger Chuck. I do not know what Fat Finger Chuck is. I saw her mention that. I'm afraid to ask. Do I even want to know what the story is behind Fat Finger Chuck? I'll let you folks decide if it's worth knowing. Hey, Lava King's here. Lava King says, what's with the Wazzy? That's what we're trying to figure out. Oh, a nickname for King Charles. I see. I've heard worse nicknames, I can say that much. So to finish the thought here, if we hit circle to charge, or shoulder tackle while we're in mid-charge, it cancels the animation, does a shoulder tackle for armor. It's a good protection move. If we're going to take a hit, we can cancel the charge, do the shoulder tackle, and it'll absorb the hit. We'll take a bit of damage, but we'll be able to keep going. In addition to that cancel, it levels up the charge when you do the shoulder tackle. So we go from regular charge, shoulder tackle, instantly into strong charge. So we can bypass the first charge and just level up the strength. And by extension, we can go all the way up to true charge just by using shoulder tackle instead of waiting for it to charge, leveling up to the next one, and so on. So what that looks like is we go 1, 2, 3. And all of a sudden, we're straight to true charge. Insanely strong. So if we get a big opening and the monster's down and we don't want to hit with charge, level 1, charge, strong, and then go into true, which if we have a big opening, that's a lot of damage to stack with all 3. Standard charge, true, strong charge, and then true. Instead of doing that, if the monster's down, we want to get 1 massive catastrophic hit in. We go 1, 2, 3. And that core loop of moving between the charge levels is something that is crucial to master with Greatsword if you want to optimize damage. It's a lot of fun. And so the name of the game, like we talked about the weapon, is positioning. Since we have really slow ground speed, we'll keep the weapon sheathed. Get in position. Go for our charges. Reposition as necessary. Wait for an opening to land the big one. Or we go for a strong. And then try and get the true charge slash whenever we can to really stack on damage. The second skill set that I have on this particular weapon is the one that I don't know as well. Again, it's a bit newer with the stuff they added in Sunbreak. But if we skill swap, instead of the charge on triangle, we have the falling slash, which is a big kind of circular overhead chop, but it can be chained into 3 big hits and then go into the strong charge. So I believe if we go 1, 2, 3, we lose the regular standard charge that we do from standing. The first one kind of replaces that, but we can still go into strong after 3, it looks like. And instead of true charge, we have rage slash, which functions a little bit differently. I think it's higher damage, but I forget what the cost is. And so it might be a little difficult to tell just based on how I'm behaving with the weapon, but the general attacks are different with this skill set. So on circle, instead of the big circular helicopter sweep, we have the vortex slash, which is faster and can be chained 3 times. Go 1, 2, 3 with the bigger hit. And can it combo into a charge? Yep. Now it goes into strong. And then rage slash replaces true charge. So it's a different flow. And I think that's really interesting. In addition, instead of the regular rising slash that hits above, now we have rising slash 1, which moves forward. And we can combo it 3 times for 3 big hits, go into strong, and then rage slash. So the way I've seen people play this particular style of the weapon, instead of it being deliberate kind of positioning and lining up for super big hits, it's a lot faster. So you're going to be striking multiple times and chaining a lot of these big swings together. And if you gear a lot of offensive based skills and attack stuff, it can chain quite a bit of damage together, and it makes the weapon fast. It's a fast striking weapon instead of a much slower charging weapon. And it's interesting. I kind of want to play around with it later on in the game and figure out how to do this particular style effectively, because it's very new. It feels like a completely different weapon, in fact. In addition, on R2, we have standard guard, but our tackle is what changes. Let's see. It can only be done from charge? Let's find out. Yeah, this guard tackle. Interesting. So you can only do that out of a charge? Okay, yeah. It functions similarly, but can only be done out of a charge and slower. There's a bit more of a wind up. So I wonder if this has the same level of armor or if it's more of a block. That's interesting. Again, the rhythm is different compared to the regular shoulder tackle, which comes out much faster. I wonder if there's more stopping power on the shield tackle. I have to experiment around. One of the reasons why I want to keep grinding the anomaly quests is to get more things so I can buy more armor spheres and upgrade this one. But we'll go ahead and go back to town and actually go back out on a quest. And I'm not an expert with Greatsword. I've played it a lot in the older games. It's a lot of fun. The stuff they've done with it in Sunbreak is very interesting. So eventually we'll see more of this in the rotation. And when I bring back the Wheel of Weapons, I will add Greatsword on there for the randomizer. But let's go... Let's show off this set. This is a slightly different version of the Dual Blade set. One thing I realized as I was doing some grinding in this game offline is you have the armor loadouts for different weapons and gear that you put together. If you hit L or R, it takes you over to the layered. I was always backing out and selecting it from the menu, but you can just tab over and set your layered right there, which is handy. This particular set is dual blades. The ones I'm using are the Chaotic Gormagala ones. And they have an interesting property where every time you overcome the frenzy, which is something that the Magalas inflict, you get an affinity boost with the weapon. And until you do that, it's got a negative affinity, so it switches modes, essentially. Actually, let's figure out what we're going to hunt.
Alright, let's go.
And because this dual blade set inflicts the frenzy by default with Bloodlust, it means if we pair it with this weapon, we're always going to have that affinity boost whenever we overcome the frenzy, which is constantly with that set. It's very strong, and it works pretty well. Let's see. We could go and fight Furious George. This one will get us credit for the quests, and we do want to level it up higher. So let's see how the chaotic duels work versus just using ice, which is its native weakness. We'll take Hinoa. And let's put Utsushi on duels like us. If I had that great sword set upgraded to withstand damage, I'd take it out on this hunt. I think it's my preferred weapon to fight the Rajangs. That or hammer. But duels will work fine.
Time to get going.
Alright. Let's actually do some hunting. I also think the Magala weapons look really cool. They're like these spike clawed gauntlets. They look like that when you got them out. Alright, heading up north.
Mine now.
We'll see if we can pick up anomaly investigation clues, since they'll start generating at a higher level. Ooh, I think I need a bug. Nope. And also try and get our optional quest objectives done, since those give us armor spheres as well, which is why we're doing this. There he is. Angry monkey. Actually, let's go. Probably with the second move set's a little faster. So coming off of the great sword move set we were just looking at a second ago, the dual blades are all about speed. Speed, mobility, and really rapid strikes. It's one of my favorite weapons in the series, and probably my second most played, at least so far in this game, since I've been streaming it. Let's see if we can get a knockdown. Or get knocked down. Ooh. Let's try and get the cords detonated on the arms. So when it gets really mad, I'm going to start bouncing if we're not careful. Oh, come on. There it goes. They call that rampage mode. Angry Monkey gets even angrier. He gets the ability to do Psycho Crushers because it's Capcom. Okay, did we get ESP and no bouncing in Demon mode? Let's find out. Nope, still bounce. Okay, don't hit the arms. Hind legs will be fine. Oh. Weren't fast enough. It does take it out of rampage mode, though. Whether you knock it out by doing enough damage or it does the Nova. One way or another, it goes back to regular mode. Now we're going down the arena. Ooh. I think this one's tall enough that we can kind of shoot right underneath the body, through the legs too. Definitely don't want to get hit by that. Dragon Ball Z reference. Whoop, that's not what I wanted.
You're the best, pal.
Sit down.
No more holding back.
Should try and break the horns too. We can break each of the horns and each of the arms. I don't think we can sever the tail since the Furious variant doesn't really have a tail. Little stub. Ooh, how'd that miss me?
Thanks a bunch. Watch out for the monster.
It's fine. Nice big window. Ah. Furious does hit decently hard. Need to be careful. Oh, come on.
It's got its eyes on you.
That's a grapple. We don't want to get grabbed.
Love you, buddy.
What you got? No, it's Kuliaku. Burb assist.
I owe you one.
Okay. See if we can knock it out of afflicted mode.
You're a natural.
Oh, come on. Saw it. We do get ESP when we do the demon dance. Our weapon won't bounce. But that's a pretty big animation commitment. A little dangerous. Stop jumping around.
You're the best.
Okay, it's always two. Ah, yeah. Not fast enough. Wow, Natsushi.
Rescued by my own pupil.
Let's go.
Okay, 10-minute mark. Might be a little bit difficult to hit sub 15. We'll see.
Need to sharpen this thing.
Just thinking about Bunny Tonga lifts my spirits.
Oh, right, we're up here. Broke a horn.
Love you, buddy. That's my buddy.
Oh, pitfall trap. That works. Uh-oh. Whew. Could have been bad. Very bad. Angry. Ha. Can do that too, you know. Uh-oh. Almost got group hugged. Finally. Free-Sun says, Araku, I just wanted to say thank you so much. You made 2024 significantly better despite quite a few things going wrong. Thank you. Oh, no problem, Capri Sun. It's very kind of you. I'm just a random anime boy on the internet streaming things and trying to create a chill place for people to hang out. So if I've done that, then it means I've done my job. See if we can break that other horn. Broke one of the arms. That was well timed. Freesun says, random anime boys making show places make the world go round. I suppose. I guess my goal in creating content has never been fame or fortune or anything like that. It's mostly just been a place to hang out and share things that I care about and make things that I find interesting. And if people vibe with it, that's cool. If people don't, that's also fine too. Yeah, thanks for the follow, you guy 22. Am I reading that correctly? Trying to keep an eye on the chat while not getting pounded by Angry Monkey. But welcome to the Space Bees. Hope you enjoy your stay. Oh, no, stop hitting the arms. That's fine. That move does hit pretty hard, but it's very well telegraphed. Kind of like that. That's pretty well telegraphed too. Alright, I think we're close to being able to get a knockdown. Not if we miss though. Nah. They were a couple seconds off. Where are we at? 15 minutes? Yeah, I think we're probably close. We'll go for sub 20 if we can't get sub 15. I'm thinking, even though we have the affinity boost with the chaotic set we're using, I don't think it's as effective damage-wise as just using Rajang's elemental weakness, which is ice. That was the experiment here. Ooh. No. Don't you do that. It's bouncing everywhere. No, I don't think you talked about getting accepted in the trial, Capri Sun. At least not that I can remember since you've been here. But I'm assuming that's good news, right? Alright, just keep standing there. Further up, Capri Sun says, that's why it's so chill here. Or no push for followers, although I think more people should follow you. I kind of like it when it's less than double digits. Makes me less anxious. I am not the type of person who pushes for followers. I don't fault people if they're doing it. It's part of the hustle, but I don't think you folks will ever see me telling people to follow or subscribe or anything like that. It's just not really my thing. I feel like if you make content and you make content people find interesting, they will follow on their own without you having to ask them for it. Oh, where are we going? We're going up the side. Let's see. Going this way. Oh, topic of the trial happened recently. Potential relief for decade long breakout. Yeah, one of my really good friends has to deal with that too. There's some medicine treatment stuff he's got to do in order to keep that in check. So hopefully you're able to get what you need. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Oh man, we're coming up on 20. Yeah, I don't think this particular set's doing this faster. I've done this fight in like sub 15 before. Even though it's higher affinity rate, not using elemental weakness I think is costing us more time. There we go. Whoa, hey, it's Rathian.
Mr. Monster, meet Mr. Weapon.
Where are you going? There we go, finally. Almost dead, so we're going to get like maybe 20 on the dot if we're lucky. The Rathian assist definitely makes it easier. Oh, I thought that would do it. Alright. That's like 19 and change, I think. Kind of slow.
Did I do okay?
What
I
have
tried
we
my
here?
hardest.
Faster, buddy.
Alright, what did we do? Let's see. Broke arm. Right arm. Left horn. Didn't break. Left arm. Or right horn. Eh. Could be much better. What we'll do is we'll go back to town. See how that looks for our level. I think we still have 2 cycles before that Puke Puke quest gets switched out for something else. In the meantime, yeah, we got some coins. The higher tier drop from Furious Rajang is... I think there's one after this. We'll see. Might be 200 plus. I think there's something else after that. Okay. 1919? Yeah. Slow. Could do better. Now it's up to 194. Oh, we picked up Risen Shagaru Magala. I wonder where that one's located. That is going to be pain. That's potentially one of the toughest quests in the game. Cats are back. I basically have these ones exclusively farming pale extract from the big weenie monster. I need it for stat potions. So every time Kezu shows up on the list, these folks have to go fight a giant penis monster.
Why, hello.
Alright. One more left till the Puke Puke one cycles out.
I pray that this calamity may
But Shagaru Magala, oh, it's a multiple. Ah. I'd like to get a Risen Shagaru in one of the arenas so we don't have to run all over the map trying to find it. But that's Apex Arzuros? No, I do not want to do that. That sounds terrible. And we got Flamin' Espinas in the Infernal Springs, which is a contained arena. But one feint. We can make one mistake. Probably has a really high multiplier, but no, we're gonna delete that and delete that.
Seeing how determined you are to overcome this calamity has inspired the knights in both
Okay,
their
so we got this one above
truly great
180 something. That's good. Oh, we could do. All these lower ones are gonna need to be leveled up at some point. I was trying to do that off stream. We have chaotic gore. Could do this one. This is a tough fight as well. In the jungle. The jungle. Let's see. What haven't you folks seen on stream yet for some of these targets? Could do Cam. Chameleos in the Forlorn Arena. This is the big, long-tongued chameleon dragon that goes invisible. Let's do that one. That'll get us credit. And we'll level this one up a little bit more too. And for this one, let's put Luchika on range. And let's go Sergei on Charge Blade.
I pray for your good fortune.
And Chameleos is weak against fire. Let's find out. Yeah, fire first, then dragon. Okay. What we'll do is we're going to switch. We'll do one more round with duels and then see where we're at. I'm going to throw the gold and silver duels on. Okay, let's get us Bloodlust level 3. And element-wise, it doesn't have an element, it's just poison.
All right, let's go.
Alright. Level 205 Anomaly Quest.
Let's make this a quick one. Feels good.
Excuse me, Luchika. About today, well,
Unequaled. Today? Yes! Today will be spectacular! No dilly-dallying from you. Understood?
understood. There will be
Okay, we'll go potions here. Defense and attack. I could have done this against Rajang too. That would have shaved some time off. But I think not using its elemental weakness was what caused that to take longer than usual. What's up, buddy? Oh, I forgot about that move. Chameleos inflicts high poison, which is dangerous. It'll drain your health faster than regular poison status. Ow. Where you at?
Love you, buddy.
Oh, that move, that's right. That's a fire hose. You'd see my health just evaporate due to the high poison.
The monster's looking at you.
Okay. Now it's mad. try and go for the tail at this point. Try and do damage wherever we can. The little curly bit at the end of the tail can be severed for Chameleos. Oh, whoops. Misread that. If we can break its horns, or single horn on its nose, that will reduce its ability to go invisible. But that's going to be difficult because the head's so high up. Well, if we're going to do that, that makes it easier. We can cut the tail. We can break the wings.
No more holding back.
Okay, stay out of range of the fire hose. Ah, that's what got me last time. Oh, that's right. That's a big sweeping poison breath. That is also very dangerous. I'm gonna get hit by that. So, jumping around.
Watch out for the monster.
That is dangerous too. When Chameleos goes invisible, it can kind of do this lateral thrashing around move that's kind of hard to see. You don't want to be next to it the entire time. It could also run into the poison puddles. That's also bad.
It's angry.
Oh boy. It's not the move I thought I was going to do. Okay, that's a good knockdown. Note this thing hasn't gone into Risen mode yet. It gets worse. Priest says, Oraku, even as a non-doctor, I can advise you not to walk into toxic puddles. That is true. You're going to have a bad time. Whoa. Okay, now it's going into Risen mode. The Risen Elders have this kind of super mode they go into that gives them a unique moveset.
Fulfill my duty like
Or some new attacks, rather, and they're incredibly dangerous when they do that. It's like going Super Saiyan. And for Cam, I think it gets that. Well, it gets that too. There's kind of like a Nova and this big sweeping like cone that just goes across that. That is really bad to be in front of. Still want to break that horn.
Hope nobody saw that.
Oh. That also is something in Risen mode that's unique. A bunch of sweeping poison balls. Break that horn. Okay. Do enough damage. We can knock Chameleos out of Risen mode for a bit. And then we'll revert back to its kind of standard move set. And give us an opening to lay some damage on. Eventually it's going to go back and get angry again.
You're the best, pal.
There it goes. Didn't take long. Boo. Uh-oh. Wire bug straight into the fire hose of doom. That will be bad. Oh, come on. That sweep. Uh-oh. It sweeps top to bottom twice.
I shall focus for the monster. Recovering.
Uh-oh.
I feel terrible.
Also has a Nova. I think that's kind of right close proximity next to Chameleos. Just want to get as far away as possible to avoid that.
That's my
Uh-oh.
buddy.
I am almost out of antidotes, herbal medicines. That's going to be annoying.
Time for some Z's.
Still no break on the nose. Bisan says, Raku, even as a nun doctor, I can tell you that not having antidotes is probably not good for you. As a nun doctor. I didn't know you were a nun. Faithful as a nun? Oh, I see our dragon's taking off. Alright, dude. Thanks for hanging out. Get some rest. I'll catch you later. We'll be back this Sunday for a jam stream. But in the meantime, hope you have a good evening. Oh, okay. Finally, horn's broken. Now we can go for the wings.
This one's all for you.
And coming up on 15. I think we're still making good time. Now, it might be a little bit difficult to see while Camillus is jumping all over the place, but when it goes invisible, we'll actually be able to see it. It'll be slightly visible instead of completely obscured because we broke its horn.
More is expected of me.
I think the in-game explanation for why the horn affects its visibility is it creates some sort of light refraction. Oh, that was dumb. And once you break it, its ability to do that's diminished. Therefore, it is more visible. So now you can see it's kind of transparent instead of being completely gone from sight. Might need to pour it out in a bit and get more antidotes.
The monster's looking at you.
Alright, stand there. Oh, almost dead. Okay. They're going to be just under 20 as long as we keep the pace up and don't get clocked. Priestland asked, did you watch Cobra Kai? I did. Have they announced when the next season's coming out? I greatly enjoyed Cobra Kai. I thought it was a good show.
It's angry.
Oh, get away from that.
It's got its eyes on you.
I'm sorry.
Gotcha. Alright. It's like 15 and change. Not bad.
Woohoo! Quest complete!
What have
Great
we
job,
here?
Luchika!
Jay, lower your voice. You're hurting my ears.
Wait, but you were just... Never mind.
Risen Dragon Bone Plus. We'll take those. We broke the horn. Didn't get the wings or the tail, though. But not bad. No KOs. That's good. Presun says, expected this year? No actual date. Yeah, I know they got greenlit like a year and a half or so ago. But I'll be keeping an eye out for when the next season comes out. Okay, no rare drops from Camelios. Did get its horn though. Okay. 1555. Respectable. Now that one's up to level 26 or 206 rather. Now the quest should cycle out, so there'll be a new target that we can take on in order to get more of those stamps, which gets us coins. That's the reason why we're doing it.
Why, hello.
Survey says, oh, Diablos. Ah, but it's got to be 181 or higher. Our Diablos one is very low. It's at like 141. I don't know if we're going to get it above 180 in 3 hunts. That's a little annoying. We can do the quest. We're just not going to get a stamp for it. I think it'll probably get 10 levels. Or we could keep doing these ones that are above 180 and they'll get us a stamp. Reason why we want to do the stamps for the higher tier afflicted investigations is because it gives us 500 coins. And the coins can be exchanged for valuable things, specifically armor spheres. And if we do the target at the level it says here, it'll give us 2, which makes us get to our target faster. But that's tough. Maybe I'll do another higher level one, and we'll wait for it to cycle again. Could run Narga again. That probably puts us above 181, and we'd get stamp credit after that. Maybe we'll do that. We'll switch weapons. Okay, we did Lance. We did dual blades. Could do charge. Charge blade's risky. Charge and I could do hammer. Hammer has a little bit better defense. Let's do hammer. And I might be able to bump defense a little bit with hammer. We'll take a look. Freeson says, money can be exchanged for goods and services. It's a Simpsons reference. Alright, let's see. How maxed out is this armor set? Oh, that's why. I bought 2 of those. That was brilliant. Peason says, also fun fact, don't drop tomatoes into boiling water. No, you definitely don't want to do that because you'll get splashed. But, just because that reminded me of a recipe that I've used recently. If you want to make a really good bruschetta with fresh tomatoes, what you can do is take your tomatoes and put them very briefly for like 10 seconds in boiling water and then ice bath them right after that in ice water. And it'll allow the skins to peel. And they basically just slide right off if you blanch the tomatoes very fast. Don't soak them in boiling water. And you can chop them up for a bruschetta. Bruschetta is Italian like appetizer. It's like diced tomatoes. It has basil and olive oil. It's usually served on like a crusty bread, like a crostini or crackers. It's quite good. But I learned that from an actually Italian chef in a class I took you can blanch your tomatoes to get the skins off, and then you just chop up the rest of it. You core it and seed it, and then you chop them up. Yeah, bruschetta is usually made with fresh tomatoes. Like fresh tomatoes, chopped garlic, basil, a little bit of olive oil. If you want to make it more like a caprese, you can throw fresh mozzarella in there. But yeah, it's quite good. All right, let's see if we can pump defense on this one.
Strike while the iron's hot.
1, 2, 3. Okay, that's maxed. Okay, I think that's maxed. Black beans and tomatoes. Whole can of diced tomatoes and black beans. Probably don't need to remind you, since I'm sure you know what you're doing, but don't forget to rinse your black beans. That is a general cooking tip for anybody.
Okay, good luck.
Okay, maxed out defense is 883. That's better than nothing. Be closer to 1,000 would be better though. Might have to swap out parts of this set, but for now that'll work okay.
Chat with Cheat for all your questing needs.
I see. Capri Sun says complex carbohydrates from the black beans, proteins and such from the black beans, and also tomatoes are yummy. Yeah, beans, good source of protein. I like fresh tomatoes in things as long as they're like either cherry or plum tomatoes. Romas are fine. I don't like beefsteak tomatoes. They don't have much texture or flavor. But I grew cherry tomatoes last year in my garden. We're getting close to garden watch season, and I want to get another plant again. And hopefully have a warmer season. We'll see. It's been cold where I live. It's technically not been feeling spring lately. But I'll be growing tomatoes again this year.
I pray for your good fortune.
Priestson says, you grew them? Yeah, you might remember from last year, off and on, when I get the Rakufaktu redeems, I would do garden watch updates on all the stuff I was growing. It wasn't very frequent. It would be like once every several streams usually. But I have a balcony. I don't have a yard. And so I had a bunch of planters, pots. And last year I grew cherry tomatoes, green onions. I still have green onions. I have a rosemary plant and a basil plant. My basil got absolutely destroyed by bugs last year. It was not a good growing season for basil. Everything else did decently though. Oh, we got a small redeem, and a hydrate, and a stretch from Capri Sun. Alright, let's go turn on small mode. Oh, I should have put VTube Studio on this monitor. There you go. We'll stay right here for now. And turn on the timer. Yeah, I was kind of disappointed with the basil Capri Sun. It's my favorite herb I like to cook with, but it was a rough season for basil. And I think my rosemary plant it's slowly coming back. It got frozen during the cold season where I live. I forgot to bring it in when we got some really, really decent snow and freezing temperatures, and it's been not looking great since, but it's not completely brown and withered. I just haven't seen much growth on it. So we'll see once it gets warm is usually when rosemary is most active. I'll be very disappointed. I've had that plant for like 2+ years. Priestson says, "Don't dox yourself, but don't you live in California? I thought they didn't get colds. Oh, mountains exist. I'm stupid. I don't live in California. I think I've said repeatedly. I've never said where I live because that's pretty private information. But I live north of LA and south of Canada. That's as much specifics as you folks are gonna get. But it is higher elevation. I don't mind telling people that. So it does get cold here in the winter."
Mine now.
Lava King says, "You mean Seattle?" Not necessarily. Don't forget Portland exists. There's a whole 2 states above California and below Canada. Or Alaska. You could see Russia from Alaska. All right, where are we going? We're going up here.
The end is in sight.
Okay, we need to switch modes. Haven't done hammer in a bit. This is going to be fun. All right, let's see if we can get a decent time.
There it is.
Yeah, regarding the plants, it's kind of one of those things where I need to remember when we get like snow weather. If it's in the forecast and I can see it coming, I need to bring my plants in. Like the green onions, I'm not too worried about. My green onions kind of got smoked by the cold too, but that's easy to deal with. I can just go buy more and plant them and they'll grow. But that rosemary bush, we'll see. I'll let you folks know once we get into the warm season. We get a garden watch update.
Look out! It's angry!
Oh boy, I gotta watch the range on that. Uh-oh, I'm stunned. And I'm dead. The flow of this game is, or this hunt rather, is much different with hammer. I'm so used to being able to zip around with duels or sit there and tank with lance.
Oh, you're gonna
And I can't do either of those things with hammer. Gotta move, be more mobile. Breeson says, "I don't try to grow things anymore, but I wish I had the soil to do so. I don't really don't live in a super urban area, but I don't really have a lot of control over what goes in the soil in front of my house. You can always try and do like planters or pots. Just get some soil from like a home and garden store. Oh, that's what I do. I don't have a yard. If I had a yard, then I would probably have a more comprehensive garden. It's just cold season tends to destroy plants, but there's a lot of stuff that I potentially grow. They do like vegetables. Okay, let's go for a knockout.
That looks like it's gonna hurt!
Ooh, all right. Okay, KO number 1. my evade level? It's gotta be at least 3 or 4. Missed. Ugh, okay, I'm gonna have to figure out the solution for that. I think I'm gonna have to dive or roll sideways. I can't really walk out of range of that. Gotcha. P-Sun says, I want to try and grow mint and ginger for tea. My culture places a lot of importance on tea. Yeah, that'd be cool. One thing that I did get a chance to try earlier in the season is making rosemary lemonade. My plant. That's a... Oh, what's on me? I picked up that good recipe in the kitchen from my coworkers. You basically take sprigs of rosemary, fresh, and you boil them with a bit of water and sugar to make a simple syrup, and then you infuse that with fresh lemon juice and water and sugar, and then you have a real kind of herbal, refreshing lemonade. It's quite good. The key is boiling down the rosemary and getting a real concentrated syrup, and then you mix that with the ingredients for lemonade. Could have been bad. It's not really a reduction. It's more of just a simple syrup. So you do have to reduce it. So I guess technically it's a reduction. But you're just taking the sugar and water and then boiling it down till it thickens and gets all the flavor from the sprigs. And then you just discard the sprigs. Uh-oh. What? You want to go down here? You can do something similar with basil as well. Fresh basil. I know some people do basil tea, which you take the fresh leaves of basil and then you steep it in water. And you boil it till all the flavor gets absorbed in the water. And then you can do basil lemonade too. Just create the simple syrup with the basil sprigs instead of rosemary. Really any herb will probably work. Your son says, I'll be honest, I don't know what the process for reduction is. Oh, reduction is just boiling something at like a medium or lower temperature until the liquid evaporates and it thickens. So if you have like a wine-based sauce or something, you just lower the heat and you reduce it by letting it evaporate until it thickens up. That's it. It's just reducing the liquid content to make whatever it is into a thicker consistency. Real common in certain sauces, things like syrups. Like a simple syrup is just water and sugar with the water content lowered so it's more viscous instead of liquidy. Oh, come on. I'm getting stunned all day long.
You're the best, pal.
I think it's going to pop. There it goes.
The monster's looking at you!
Ah, got the head. There we go, finally.
That's my buddy.
Let's try and break the wings. Oops. Oh, come on. That was dumb. Preson says I saw an artist do it once or twice on American Idol. That's why I asked. Are you talking about... Oh, sorry, I missed your previous question. Question is, do steam treatments for your throat actually help with beatboxing and singing? Steam treatments, I don't know from experience. But when you're training things in beatboxing, like vocal techniques or bass, just like singers will do like water and honey or lemon, like kind of like a neutral tea and like water or lemon. That works well for bass training when you're doing beatboxing stuff. It's just like singing. Same remedies work well. And especially when you're, oh, come on, when you're first learning things like throat and vibration basses, which puts a lot of strain on your vocal cords, it's good to do that to make sure you don't strain anything. If you go too hard and strain stuff, it will damage your voice, your vocal cords and your voice, and you don't want that. Leaving. All right. Preson says it's safe to assume that in order to have the best outcomes using colder water, the start will be better for steam. Colder water doesn't take as much from the pipes. Oh, I see. That makes sense. And I guess if you want it warm, you can just warm it up as opposed to having the warm water from the tap, like you said, get contaminated from the actual pipe work. Where's the trap? Oh, it was over there. I'm misjudging my distances quite a bit.
I owe you one.
Let's see if we can get KO number 3. Oh, it's a good stagger.
Came up with a gnarly strategy. Sorry for the delay, Ace.
What did you bring? Oh, Puka Puke. Alright, that works.
You're a natural.
Oh, I'm forgetting to use the spinning bludgeon. That would add to my attack. Ah. Okay, I gotta remember to do that every once in a while. Ah, missed. Ha! Gotcha. Ah, I see we're talking about mozzarella on pasta. Nothing wrong with that. I actually made pasta earlier in the week. I don't know if I've talked about this particular recipe. I found it on, I think it was on Shorts. Someone was talking about a real quick scratch marinara recipe that I wanted to try out. And I've done it a couple times and it works pretty well. I have a different one I used to use from the kitchen, but this one's a bit more simple, requires a bit less work. But basically what you do is you take a whole bunch of fresh cherry tomatoes or plum tomatoes, the small ones, and you get a pan or pot and you saute a bunch of garlic and onions or shallots and olive oil, maybe throw some wine in there. And once all of it sort of cooks down, you put all the fresh cherry tomatoes in there and you basically cook it till it all breaks down and gets soft and the skins sort of disintegrate and just reduces into a marinara sauce. I like to flavor mine with basil and oregano, a little bit of balsamic vinegar and brown sugar. But basically, you're just cooking down fresh cherry tomatoes and it becomes marinara. Oh, come on. It's a very simple but very effective way to make red sauce. And you don't have to worry about all the preservatives and sodium and stuff the bottled off-the-shelf sauces have. I didn't make that recipe up, Capri Sun. I saw it online. I just tweaked the flavors based on what I've done in other sauces. Hey, it's Pookie Pookie again. I do need to add some more recipes to the food channel in our Discord. That's for any sort of food recipes or food pictures you folks want to add. As long as it's appetizing, as opposed to like a cursed food channel. I didn't really want to do that right away. Ha! Parried.
Thanks a bunch. Look out! It's angry!
I wonder if I can parry that. Nope, I'm not even try. I think it's more than one hit, and it'll stun if I miss. It's probably a stupid idea. But it would have looked cool. Yeah, I hear you, Capri Sun. That's kind of the reason why I didn't do that. Some of the other channels have cursed food stuff, which can be pretty entertaining, but I'd rather we focus on like good advertising food content in the channel. All right, where are we headed?
Now's the time to sharpen your weapon or fill up your stamina.
Yeah, it does maintain show vibes, but if I did like a cursed food channel there, it'd be separate. So, you know, people can put all that stuff into a separate spot. That way it doesn't get lumped in with all the regular like good food stuff, and you know, it's separate if people want to see that kind of stuff. But I don't know. Haven't really committed to doing that yet. Just keep it wholesome in the food channel for now. Ooh, it's gore. Gore's good. monster to ride for its skill set.
Watch and learn.
Good old edgy boy. One more. Okay, we're over 20 minutes with Hammer. It's definitely not a good time.
How do you like that?
I think it's gonna take some practice with the weapon in order to get a really good hunt time. But that's okay. It's still fun. Not good.
That looks like it's gonna hurt. You're the best, pal.
Ah. I'm missing my parries as well. Rusty with the hammer. I'm sure somewhere Matt is disappointed. He is a hammer user. Hammer and bow.
Look out! It's angry!
Oh, I thought for sure that would get me inside range. Oh, like KO number 4? Ha. Whoops. Oh, come on. I do not want to get KO'd here. 25 minutes. That is a very, very, very low time. Or high time, rather.
I needed that.
Oof. A couple more.
It's got its eyes on you!
Ah. Oof, almost 30 minutes for Narga.
It's on its last legs! Faster, buddy!
Come on, doggo.
Now's my chance!
Alright, let's close this one out. Oh, it's one super pound away. Ah, alright. Not the best showing.
Always. Impeccable work as always. Wouldn't expect anything less from my favorite pupil.
You put on a good show, yeah? Couldn't have done it better myself.
Let's go!
Breeson says, pretty sure the VA for Mario just told you did a good job. Chris Pratt? Ah, that makes more sense. I was like, pretty sure Chris Pratt's not in this game. Okay, we did get a mantle. That's the rare drop from Narga. I'm not using them for anything, but if we ever need them, it's good to have. "26 minutes. Oh, it's terrible. It's a terrible time. Mantle for a fireplace? No, more like a mantle like you wear a mantle. Need the rare scale drops from all the monsters. Not every single one in the game, but a lot of them are called mantles. And they're like a 1 to 3% drop depending on what you're fighting. Okay, let's see. We still Diablos, right?
Cheat for all your questing needs.
We can do one more.
Anomaly quests can be found here.
And now this one's above 180. That's good. We picked up an Aurora Somnicanth, which I do not like fighting that monster. If it was... Oh, it's in the arena. Okay, we'll hold on to that one. Arena 30 minutes is doable. That one could come up as a target as well. Lunagaron and Apex Rathian. No, that sounds terrible.
When this disaster is behind us, I would love nothing more than to visit Kimura. Ever since I heard about how charming it is from Rondine, I can't stop thinking about going.
Let's see. What do we want to do to close out today's session? Could do this one. This is not a fight I want to do. Crimson Glow Valstrax, I think, is the hardest fight in the game. Oh, it's the regular one. It's not Risen Crimson Glow. That one's even worse. Oh, no, they're not designated as Risens. I see. Yeah, that's Risen Crimson Glow. Ugh, no. I don't do that. Let's see. How about Gold Rathian? In the Forlorn Arena. With guns. All the guns.
I pray for your good fortune.
Oh, thanks for the shout out for the SOTS project, Capri Sun. Yep, that is still on the schedule for before the end of next month at the latest. We are finally getting close to the end of production on all the stuff. It is looking fantastic. I think you folks are really going to like it. Wazzy's been working really hard. I know her and Pwups had a concept planning session earlier in this week for some stuff near the end, and the results were pretty cool. Okay, we're going to go Pierce Gun. Ah, that's right. It is your birth month, Capri Sun. It'll be a good way to celebrate. Let's go fire. Lots of fire. Okay, Gold Rathian in the arena, Forlorn Arena, with pew pews. I see we got a hydrate and a stretch from Capri Sun. We're almost done at my smoothie. All right. Angry fire breathing female wyverns. I mean, let's fight in a minute. Alright, name of the game here is to try and be as in line with the target to get the pierce shots down the body, but also watch out for lots of fire. Fire everywhere. While shooting the glowing bits. Okay, watch out for that. Everything's on fire. Okay, now we have incandescent mode. Even more fire than before. Nice. All right. Forgot what level this was. 200 something or 190? Lava King says, "Hey, Rock, remember Robots the movie that has a startlingly star-studded cast, not just Robin Williams? Robot the movie. Not ringing a bell. Robots the movie. When did it come out? The robot movie I always think about with Robin Williams was Bicentennial Man, and that one was kind of mid. I do like Robin Williams a lot, though. One of the greatest comedians to ever do it. But when was Robots the movie? Oh, animated. Okay.
Love you, buddy.
The answer would be I didn't see it. Was it a Pixar movie? Ooh, oh, Blue Sky, mid 2000s. Gotcha. No, I've not seen it. Why do you ask? What is the reason for referencing Robots the movie? All right, should be getting close for a knockdown.
It's angry!
Ah, like the Star Power cast. Ewan McGregor was the dad. Paul Giamatti's the doorman. Huh. Yeah, it does sound like a big celebrity cast.
That looks like it's gonna hurt!
Ow. Surprised it didn't one-shot me.
That's my buddy.
Okay, head's broken.
Love you, buddy.
There we go, finally. Oh, nice. They even got the Vader cameo. The legend, James Earl Jones. He's getting up there, man. He's in his 90s, I think.
You're the best, pal.
Okay, we broke head, back, and the right wing, left wing. Oh, no, maybe neither wing. I don't see chips on the little wing talons. Oh. Ma'am, please stop running me over, ma'am.
Love you, buddy.
Oh, Mel Brooks is in that movie? Wow. Speaking to people who are up there, Mel Brooks is very old. One of the comedic geniuses, one of the best to ever do it. I can see what you're saying, Lava King. That's a pretty stacked cast of well-known Hollywood actors. Why don't I remember anything about that movie if it's got so many famous people in it?
Look out! It's angry! That looks like it's gonna hurt!
Ah, not fast enough.
I cannot fulfill my duty like this.
Okay, now we broke the right wing.
Look out! It's angry! You're the best, pal.
Alright, knocked her out of incandescent mode. And she's almost dead.
That's my buddy. Watch out for the monster!
Just over 10 minutes. That's a pretty good time, admittedly. Makes up for the last one.
It's imperative to care for our equipment.
Carve, carve, carve.
Yeah, that's interesting, Lava King. You listed off a ton of famous people. Wonder if they made their money. I just realized I've had small mode on for like 40 minutes. You folks didn't tell me. I was so busy trying not to die. I didn't even think to look over at my OBS readout. Alright, what we got? More coins. Direwing pluses. Nothing really rare in drops from Gold Rathian. Okay, that one was 190. Okay, that puts us up to 194. So yeah, the higher up we go, the less the quests level up. And then keeping in mind the anomaly research max is 300, so it's going to be a while. But that's a decent amount of points. We're almost at 225. Okay. We got Chaotic Gore, level 193. I wonder if that's in the arena too.
Your spirit shines bright. Would you like to try an anomaly quest?
It is in the arena. Level 193. Okay, what's our other one? Oh, that's 216 in the jungle? Huh. I feel like I'd rather have the one in the arena, because then it's basically just a boss fight at that point. But we don't have to run the target down. We go in and we fight. I'm going to take that one. It wouldn't take long. It'd take maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 quests to get this one to around 216. And no difference in multiplier. Okay. I'll just leave that one there for now. So I'll definitely need to probably level this one up. I haven't run Somnicant at all. Again, I don't like fighting this monster. But it does have hard claws. And a bunch of these other ones I'm going to have to level. Ideally, we want everything above 200, because when I get through all of the stamps, it's going to probably go up from 181 to like 190 maybe. And then eventually it'll be 200, the minimum level to get the bonus.
I hope we can talk again soon.
I'll definitely need to do more grinding. Hopefully by the next time we stream Monster Hunter, there will be a next time, I'll have the Greatsword set fully upgraded so I can take that one out and show it off and practice with that set. Priestson asks, Rakuhal's been watching all the fan-made Has music. Oh, it's great. There's some really talented people that have been putting out fan songs. And I think they'll be continuing to do that while we wait for the next season. It's funny you mentioned Has Been. When I was hanging out with Ramen and Kat, I found out that Kat has not seen Has Been, but she really likes the music. And so she was telling me about all the songs, but she hasn't seen the episodes, and all of them at least, where the songs come from. So I was telling her to watch Has Been. It is a good soundtrack. Okay. I think we will call it there. I do need to go see to dinner and the like. So let me go and we'll take a look and see who's online that we can raid. Oh, let me go to my main page here. Oh, Bean's live. Yeah, let's go raid Bean. What is Bean playing? I don't recognize Doronko Wanko. I have no idea what that game is, other than it sounds Japanese, and I think it involves... Is that a dog? I don't know. I don't recognize the game, but let's go say what's up to Bean, friend of the channel. So let me queue up right here. And then we will go ahead and mute this and go to outro. And we will wrap up for today. Thanks again to everyone who came by and hung out while we hunted monsters with moderate levels of effectiveness. We will be back on Sunday of this weekend with a jam stream. Work on some beatbox stuff and talk about techniques and work on BGM tracks like usual. And it should be a good time. So yeah, once again, hope everyone has a good rest of your night. Oh, Capri Sun says last Sunday before surgery. Well, hopefully it'll be a good send-off before you go in. But yeah, thanks again, folks. Have a good night. Now let's go see how Bean's doing in whatever weird game this is. Let's check it out.